Welcome to our ADM Lucid Automation Testing channel. We will have a series of talk about Selenium automation testing, which will help you better understand the basics of Selenium and also guide you to build your own Selenium automation project. You may access our test project and guide in the description below. Feel free to subscribe to our channel for any new videos and updates.
Hi, in today's video, we'll be talking about DevTools. So, let us first introduce DevTools. Browser DevTools are a set of built-in tools in modern web browsers such as Chrome, Firefox, and Edge that developers use to diagnose and debug web applications. These DevTools provide insights into network activity, performance, Java debugging, CSS inspection, and many more. Selenium 4 integrates the Browser DevTools Protocol directly into the WebDriver API, enabling you to control and interact with DevTool features from your Selenium scripts. So next we're going to talk about a few key features and use cases of DevTools. The first involves performance metrics. You can collect and analyze performance metrics of your web application using DevTools. This includes metrics like page load time, network activity, and rendering performance. You can also do stuff involved with network manipulation. You can intercept and modify network requests and responses, which is useful for testing how your application behaves under various network conditions. It can also do stuff with JavaScript execution. For instance, you can evaluate JavaScript code in the context of the current page, which can be useful for automation and testing purposes. Some more involves, we can talk about, for instance, console output. It can allow you to capture and analyze browser console output and errors. Emulation. We can simulate different device and network conditions to test the responsiveness of your web application. And finally, security auditing. You can check for security vulnerabilities and issues using DevTools security-related features. In the next part of the video, we will show you how to code this in your Selenium automation script. We'll give you an example that involves console output, emulation, as well as performance metrics. Next, I will walk you through the code that we have to perform these tests. So first, I want you to know that if you want to look through the code yourself, you can go to the description below in the comments to find the code itself. But in order to use DevTools in our own project, the first thing we have to do is we have to upgrade our Selenium. So what we did here is we went to our pom.xml file and we upgraded the version to 4.110. Originally what we had was 4.80, so we had to upgrade it to at least 4.110 to be able to run DevTools. Now after doing that, we added a controller class. So under the controller package, right here, we added a DevTools. So here is our DevTools class. Before I walk you through the code, I just want to show you that we had to import various packages in order to run DevTools. So it starts right here. The first thing we imported was just DevTools, and then we also imported Selenium DevTools.v115 emulation. And we also imported some other things using v115 version. For instance, it's log, performance for performance metrics, performance.model.metric, and so on. So make sure when you're running your own code, you import these packages as well. So moving down, let me just show you the various classes that we created, or the various methods that we created. So the first one here, Geo-location _city. In this method, what we try to do is we try to change the location of our browser to various different cities, depending on the string that we input. So the idea of this is different browsers behave differently when the user accesses it from a different location. And that's what we want to test for. So as you can see here, the three different cities that we could choose from were Berlin, London, and Tokyo. And So let me just show you a little bit, some key parts of the code. So the first part is right here, we had to do get DevTools. So we had to create an instance of DevTools, and then we have to create its session. After we create session, then now we can use emulation dot set geolocation override, and this basically allows us to override the location of our browser. And so for this method, we are going to be using this one website that tells us where our location is to show you that we are able to change the location of our browser. So the next method, web performance metrics. So this one, in this method, we want to use DevTools to grab a bunch of performance metrics for our website. So again, right here, we have to create an instance for DevTools right here, and then we create a session. And then for this method specifically, we have to do performance.enable. And then we can run a various different things, and we can grab different metrics. So for here, we use the website here, which we feed in as a string. So depending on what website you want to test, you just feed it into the method as a string argument. And afterwards, with the different performance metrics, we write them into a file called report.csv. The next method that we use is view console logs. Again, in this method, we created an instance for DevTools right here. We also had to start a session, so we created a session. And then we also had to do log.enable. And in here, what we did is we basically grabbed a bunch of different outputs. So we see that for log entry right here, we can grab a bunch of different outputs. So for instance, URL, it's a network request ID, and so on. And we can see that. And then, so this one just grabs the console logs. And finally, we have a device method. And in the device method, what we do is we change, we try to view the web page from different devices. So we can view it from an iPhone, an iPad, and tablet, all from our computer itself. We just try to tell the website we're viewing it from an iPhone so it can change its behavior, and we see if it works on an iPhone, and so on for iPad and tablet as well. And again, we have to create an instance using DevTools right here, start the session, and then we have to do emulation.setDevice metric override right here, which allows us to override and view it from a different device. So this is the controller class. Next, I'm going to show you the test class that we have for this package, for these features, and I'm going to test each feature that we talked about individually so you can see what's going on. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the geolocation city, and I'm going to try to change our location to Tokyo right here. So what I can do is I can go ahead and run this. And we'll give it some time to run. And we've set it so that the browser doesn't close itself, so I can show you that the location actually changed. So we see that it says our current location, your location is Tokyo. And it shows us on the map that we're right here in Tokyo. So we can go ahead and close this, and I can actually change this argument to Berlin, for instance. And I'm going to save, and let me run again. So and this time we see our location is changed to Berlin, Germany instead. And this is where we are in Berlin. Next, I'm going to show you the web performance metrics. So I'm going to comment that out. I'm going to run this one instead. I'm going to save. And now we're going to try and get some performance metrics on the website admlucid.com. So after we finish running this, what we basically told the method to do is to save all the performance metrics into a CSV file right here under the package report. And here we see all the different performance metrics for that website. We can go back to DevTools, and now I'm going to show you the console log. So I'm going to run this. And now we can scroll down, and we see that this is the console logs that we're interested in right here, and it shows us the console logs right here. And finally, what we can do is we can run device. So we try to change it so it gives an iPhone, thinks we're from an iPhone. And basically here it tells us what kind of device it thinks that we came from. For instance, it's different pixel size, screen size, and so on. And that's the way we kind of verify that it thinks we're from an iPhone. For instance, if we were to change this to iPad, let me just quickly go to this part right here and see what we're able to change it to. For instance, we can change it to iPad. So we can write iPad instead. iPad. And we can run this. And now it changes this to the dimensions of the iPad. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful in learning a little bit more about DevTools. If you are interested in looking through the code again by yourself, look at the description below. We will have the code posted on our website. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.